Hi, this is Connie Moser. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Nights at the Round Table. My guest tonight is Cathy Tarr from Walgreens. Cathy, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Wow, what a firm grip. Is that because you had a hard time getting here and you're tense, or you always shake hands like that?
Connie, I was here on time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why don't we just start off? You just tell me a little bit about yourself, about your job at Walgreens as a community leader. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Well, my job is a community leader. That's the title that I have. I've been with Walgreens for 11 and a half years. I started in Southern California and made my way here to Virginia with the company. When I moved here from Virginia, I did not know one person in the whole state, so it's just me. But I've got to know a lot of people. I've been here for over 4 years now, and met some really great people here, including yourself, Connie.
Oh, thank you. So do you have more than one store that you are a community leader?
It has a lot of different roles and aspects to it. I actually do manage a store in Centreville in Fairfax County. That is my store. It's a 24-hour store that I actually manage, but I also oversee 5 other stores.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I oversee 3 stores in the city of Manassas, the store on Studley Manor, and the store on Devlin Road in Bristow. So I oversee all those. I go in, do store walks, see if they need anything, how's it going, things like that. We have meetings, myself with my managers, about every 6 to 8 weeks. We have a meeting and we discuss certain things with the company as well as what's going on in the community. So one manager may have something that she wants to do, and maybe somebody else wants something they want to do, so we discuss it. How does that really work into what we want to do in the community? And we discuss it and decide if we want to do them or not.
How many employees are you talking about among that number of stores? About how many employees are involved in?
Well, I mean, every store has a manager. I have actually an extra manager because I'm not in my store as much as the store managers. I'm in my store about 60% of the time. The 40% of the time I'm outside of my store, networking, looking at partnerships and things like that, and getting into community, introducing myself, who am I, and things like that, and what can I do for you, and all that. So when I moved to Virginia, I actually was just a store manager. Then I became, I was promoted to community leader, and they said, this is what we want you to do. We want you to go out into the community, and we want you to see what can we do. Are there any health fairs going on? Can we get involved in some health fairs and things like that, and get the word out that we're here. Every store that I have was not here 4 years ago.
Oh, they're all that new to
Yes.
the area.
Oh, yes. When I first got here, the first year I was here, we opened like 16 stores in the district in 1 year. So we were opening more stores a month, more than one a month in the district. Now the district goes from D.C. to Fredericksburg to Culpeper, Warrenton, Manassas, Arlington, Alexandria. That's our district.
So do you have counterparts, people in those cities that do what you do?
Yes, we have other community leaders as well.
And then do you all get together kind of en masse and brainstorm, or?
We do. We do. A lot of what I do in my community, which is mostly the city of Manassas, although I work a little with Manassas Park Community Center right now, and I do get into Prince William County often with some groups that I've gotten into and some meetings that I do here at the McCourt Building here in Woodbridge and such. So there is a community leader here in Woodbridge. He's new, not to the company, but new as a community leader. And a lot of things I do overflow into Woodbridge. So we're going to get together and discuss that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meet. It's Corey, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Corey.
I definitely am going to reach out to him and,
Yes.
and get him involved in the community, but you're so much fun. I don't know Corey. I don't know if he's fun or not. So I guess what I want to ask you, or where I want to start, is with your relationships in Manassas. Do you work with the city, or let's see, Like, I'm trying to think who I know in Manassas. Christine Zenich, is she from Neighborhood?
Neighborhood Services. Yes.
Do you work with her on projects? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, when I first heard what my responsibilities were and what they wanted me to do, I was like, this is great. I mean, this is going to be fun. So not knowing one person in the, state of Virginia, I made one phone call and it just rolled from there. I called City Hall and I got a hold of Melanie, the mayor's secretary, and I said, hi, I'm Cathy Tarr from Walgreens. I'd like to see how I can do some outreach, and stuff. She said, oh, you want to talk to Keisha, Neighborhood Services.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from there, I started meeting other people, Cindy Brookshire. I mean, there's two people right there that I met the right people.
Yeah.
So Cindy's been great. She's just wonderful to me. And so the very first event we did was the one by youth with Kristen and Keisha. And it's actually a Colorado grouped, I want to say a group of youth. And it's from the area, like they'll come from Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and all these youths come in. There's hundreds of youth that comes into one part of the city. So the first one we did was Georgetown South. So
it's a volunteer day.
They all came down and had a little training. And within one day, they revitalized a community. They would paint fences, put in a garden, and things like that. They'll maybe a gate is broken, they'll fix a gate, or there's garbage, and they'll pick up garbage, and they'll just make it.
You
look
must
nice.
work with other sponsors. Do you connect like with Lowe's or someone?
Well, actually, Lowe's is a sponsor of this.
Oh, I see.
Of the One by Youth. It's now called Big Day of Serving, and Lowe's is one of their big. They're great. Lowe's is great. They donate lumber, their time, and all that. And it was actually a pilot from Colorado. Manassas, the city, was a pilot, and now it's going to be the fourth year. This year is going to be in Weems community. And basically what we do as Walgreens is we set up first aid tents.
Oh.
Yes, so we have first aid tents for blisters, cuts, anything more than that.
Heat related or?
Yeah, we have cots there. Last year was, we had Point of Woods, and last year was Bristow Station. And last year we had cots out and people laying down. It was a little warmer. And we had some things where we had to take them to the urgent care and things like that. So I'm glad we were there. But we give away water and, and different, things.
So what day is it this year, the big day of service?
It's May 4th. May 4th at Weems Community.
And how many volunteers do you anticipate having?
Oh, they'll have hundreds and hundreds of youth coming in. This particular year, we actually have some Walgreens employees that are going to volunteer as well and help with some cleanup and things like that. So that's going to be fun.
I'm sure.
We have some great employees. We have great employees. We did a survey and asked them, what would you like to do? And we had a lot of them that says, what do you want us to do? We're there to volunteer. So we have a lot of great employees.
Does Habitat for Humanity work with you too? On
I
this?
haven't reached out to them yet.
But they would be an ideal partner for something.
Our
like
main
that.
partners, obviously Neighborhood Services, and my community, Walgreens, has officially partnered with the Boys and Girls Club in Manassas, and we have a great relationship with them. They have a lot of things coming up as well, and they just had the charity bartender charity
Is that
event.
this week? Is it?
They have another one coming up. I believe
uh-huh.
it's this week. I'll be on vacation, so I won't be able to be there.
Oh,
but
sorry.
I was at their last one. I think it's called Old Sportstown Pub. And it was fun.
I'm sure.
It was a lot of fun. It was great. So I was at that one. So, they raised a lot of money there. So, but we, as partnering up with them, we were able to raise $3,000 for their fundraiser. Just my 6 community stores.
Wow.
So that was awesome. That's one way that we can give back. And, we just put a can on our counter and we ask customers. We have the best customers ever. They are so generous. you know, if I take a can away, they're like, where'd you put the can? You know, I'm like, okay, it's back, you know. But we have really great customers. We can't say enough about them.
You know, it's kind of amazing in this day and age. You know, our county has grown so immensely. It's doubled in population just in the last, I don't know, 10 years, I think.
Okay.
And we're over 400,000 people, but we are still very much a small town. And Manassas is the heart of I think, of Prince William County. And I love it because it's like the town that I grew up in, where everybody knows everybody. And you met people at the drugstore.
Yes.
I don't suppose you have any intentions of bringing back a lunch counter, do you? That's
No, but I still have customers coming in telling me they used to go into Walgreens and they have the soda fountain,
Yeah.
you know, there, and they would eat their lunch at the counter and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Walgreens is over 100 years old, so, but we are very, very new to this area.
Are you still continuing to build new stores in this area?
We are. We have a 24-hour store opening actually very soon in Woodbridge. I do not know the exact location. I'm very much...
Geography's not your big strong point, is it?
Okay. I'm new to Virginia, 4 years in, so I'm working on it. I don't know Woodbridge that well, but I pretty much stay within my community. But I do know there is a 24-hour one opening. And we just opened a corporate store in Chinatown where you can buy sushi if you like.
Oh.
And you can get your shoes shined. You can have your hair done, your nails done. You can all that, and we also sell Tylenol as well there. We have a pharmacy, but it's huge. It's huge, and it's the new, you know, how the company is going in a lot of ways. You know, going into different areas into our stores.
Just kind of fit into the community.
Yes. And it's been doing great since it opened. It just opened a couple weeks ago. It's been doing great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is there anything in particular? I am going to bring up something that I was very intrigued because we've had conversation before,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure that I want to think maybe I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure you told me that you jump out of airplanes. Is that true?
You remembered that?
Yeah, because I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yes, I actually love the skydive. I have not done it for a couple of years now, actually since I moved to Virginia. There's a site, actually people come from all over the world in Paris, California. And I went there to do a tandem jump one day. I was bored and I was thinking, what can I do? And I'm like, well, I'll go skydive. So I called them and I said, can I come down for a tandem tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, come on down. So I went down and did a tandem and I loved it. It's the highest adrenaline rush I have ever had. I love it. I love it. Yes. I also will do a quarter mile with I have a weekend car, it's a Mustang, and I love to race it down the track, not on the freeways, but down the track. You know.
Is it a classic car?
No, it's just an 07. I bought it in California, and I moved to Virginia, and my boss said, it doesn't snow in Virginia. That's what he told me to get me here. And so I came in the first years when you guys had that big snowstorm.
Yeah.
Well, my car would not go in that, and so I had to buy a second car. So
you don't
I can go in the snow.
Yeah.
Yes. So now it sits there. Now it's my weekend car that it sits during the winter, and just starting to bring it out now. It's just something fun.
Do you take it to car shows? Are there Mustang enthusiasts?
I actually belong to the Northern Virginia Mustang Club, and we meet up in Chantilly periodically. We also do cruises where we'll cruise out to different areas and have lunch. Or one of the ways that I was able to bring everything together into one is the Marines Toys for Tots. Well, the Mustang Club gathers with other clubs, whether it's Corvette Club, Mustang Club. They all get together and they actually meet in Fredericksburg, and they come up and they go to Woodbridge, where the Marine Corps has its depot for the Toys for Tots. And so what we do in our stores is we collect toys for Tots. Now we do the cruise pretty early on because you know that holiday traffic gets to be pretty big, and we're talking a lot of Mustangs. It takes a lot of time to go through an intersection. So we have police that will stop the intersections for us to go through with a little flag that says Toys for Tots. And our cars are filled with toys.
Wow.
They're very, very generous. So I was able to, actually we met at a Walgreens. We had a big banner saying, "Welcome Northern Virginia Mustang Club." So I was able to bring my job into something that means, a lot to me. And we had all these toys and that customers donated, employees donated, managers and that. So we donated. So we got all the toys at one store, and they stopped and they bought some toys as well. It was very early in the morning. We were very happy. We stopped at the one in Bristow, and the manager there, Kara, she opened the store early for us, and we filled up our cars and we went down there and we had a huge amount of toys. So that was awesome.
Really a great way to tie together your job and a fun hobby and a good deed all at once.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we have to do that pretty early on in the season, and we were still collecting toys. So I called Volunteer Prince William. Now I know that families will ask for certain things in children, and I just didn't have the means to be able to fill them in that way. So I said, I have a ton of toys, and I'm almost not even exaggerating on that. Will that work? And I spoke with Mary Foley, and she goes, "Bring them on down."
Oh yeah, they
and
do. That's
we
a great
took
place.
down truckloads of toys, and about a week and a half before the Christmas, I got a phone call from somebody, I believe in Alexandria, and said, "Hey, we have a ton of toys up here. Is there anything you do with them?" I'm like, "Let me ask." So I called Mary. I said, "Mary, can we still bring toys?" She goes, "Yes, absolutely." I have no idea how many toys we brought down. It was a lot of toys.
Well, this was the year to do it because they were short this year. Volunteer Prince William does
that.
their Untrim a Tree program.
Yes.
And I think it was like 3 weeks before Christmas, and they were really getting desperate for, they have that big, huge space, and it was empty.
It was.
Yeah.
Until I came down.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh my goodness." We had, the first time we went down was just a pickup truck, and I thought that was it. And then it became another carload. Then it was 2 carloads. And then it was like, "Listen, I need help. I need some trucks." And my whole stock room was filled with toys. And I'm like, "Oh my God, where am I going to put all these toys?"
Oh, that's wonderful.
But it was great. It was great, to get those toys down there.
So do you usually come up with ideas yourself, or do you depend on community? Uh-oh, you're scaring me now.
We'll have a meeting. I'll have a meeting with my managers, and I'll say, I have an idea. And they're like, "Oh no, now what do we have to do? What do you want us to do now? Or what's your idea?" I always have ideas. Just last Saturday, we did our first Adopt a Highway, and we have our sign up. We have Litton Hall Road.
Oh, that's busy.
Yes, but not that dirty either. It's pretty clean. We ended up doing 9 bags of garbage. We were from Studley Manor Road to 28. And we cleaned both sides, so that was it was fun. It was
now that's
exercise.
through VDOT, right? You get that section of road through VDOT?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
And then
contact
you get your name
them.
on the sign, yeah?
Well, we put Walgreens, it's through Walgreens, through the company, so we said, Walgreens adopted it.
And you promised to go out how many times?
4 times a year.
4 times a year.
So we did it as managers the first time, and what we want to do is get some of our younger employees involved in volunteering. That's very important to me. I think everybody should do something in their community.
Well, I definitely think it's a great idea to get younger people involved because as we get older, you need to build your own replacements in.
Exactly. And I have, heard and read that, younger people are more apt to volunteer than the older person. So it's very much in my community stores, I'm always talking to all the employees. We get a new employee, I'm like, "Hi, how are you? Do you like to volunteer?" Because I always have something going on. Today, actually, we're at Nova. We're there today and tomorrow. And we'll be at the big day of serving. And the Senior Citizen Center in Manassas has a fall prevention type thing where seniors will go in and they'll say what medications they take, and they'll go through a few things, and then they'll come up to one of our pharmacists, and they evaluate them for what are their risks of falling? Because, as you get older, if you fall, that could be, you could break a hip.
Sure.
And, you know, a lot of times you hear someone falls, and next thing you know, they die through complications. So we're trying to help them and try to, you know, sometimes it might be medication they're on that they could be on something else as an equivalent, but would be less risk for falling. So we evaluate that. We did it last year as well. It was a great success. So we're into a lot of different things.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So we'll be at Georgetown South is having a health fair on the 27th this month. We'll be there as well.
Is Project Menda House working on that project with you?
It's possible.
That sounds familiar.
I know they had that new, you know, it's been a little over a year, the pediatric center there in Georgetown South. They have that in there. And, of course, we went and introduced ourselves. What can we do for you and things like that. And then she mentioned the fair, and I said, absolutely, that's right up my alley. So we do have a pharmacist that are going to do free blood pressure readings and things like that, and some giveaways. But that's one of the great things that I like about Prince William County. Manassas, the city of Manassas and Manassas Park. There's so many partnerships, so much collaboration that I'm like, wow. I'll go to one place and I see somebody and I'm like, I know you, you know. But it's not just community activists. It's really, I'll go to a meeting and there's the law enforcement, there's the health department, there's the hospitals. Everybody seems to come together in this county, and it's awesome.
That's why you are an ideal candidate for Leadership Prince William, because that's exactly what they do. They take you through every single facet of operations of Prince William County. There's a law enforcement day, and there's a social services day, and we spend a day at the landfill, and you really learn how the county operates, and you learn who is responsible for operating each portion of it, and that you're just the perfect candidate for that. So,
well, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us, or anything you want to close up with?
Well, no, just that, you know, I do like to go out, you know, and meet people, and partnerships. I like partnerships better than sponsorships. If we do a sponsorship, we are actually involved in it. It's not like we just will give a partner, like,
what's the difference, really?
The difference between a partnership and a sponsorship. Partnership is, I can give you the perfect example of a partnership, a true partnership.
All right.
I was home on a Sunday evening, and I received a phone call from Kristen from Neighborhood Services, and she said, "Cathy, have you heard about the fallen officer?" I'm like, "Oh my God, that was so sad, such a sad story." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just heard about it." Well, she put together, within 2 hours, she put together this huge candle vigil. So she called me at home, and she says, "Cathy, we need a poster-sized picture of the officer." And I said, she goes, "I need it within an hour."
Wow.
So I said, "Absolutely. Go down to the Walgreens on Wellington and Dumfries. I'll call ahead, tell them you're coming." So I called ahead and I said, "Hey, Kristen's coming down," and they know Kristen. "Kristen's coming down, and she needs a poster-sized print. Give it to her, no charge." They're like, "Okay, no problem." So then I get another phone call. "Cathy, I'm at your store. Your employees are great. They're doing a really great job. Do you think you could donate some candles?" I said, "Kristen, absolutely." We donated over 100 candles. I didn't even know we had that many in the store. But over 100 candles, and it was a huge amount of people that came there. And that is a true partnership. She knew that she could call me at home on a Sunday evening, and I was able to help her and give her what she wanted. That's a partnership. When you can, there's a give, there's a take. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
I think a lot of the credit goes to you. I'm pretty sure that that's not just happening anywhere else. I think you should pat yourself on the back, because...
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not real good at that, per se. But that's a partnership. The partnership we have at the Boys and Girls Club. You know, if we have our Friends and Family Day, which gives discounts, and that's nationwide, we can take some flyers down there and, you know, put them on their counter. And, you know, the moms and dads see it. Hey, we can save money, you know. Actually, they're having their steak and steak dinner that's coming up June 7th. And Glenn Vickers contacted me and said, "Cathy, I have some great news." And I'm like, "Oh, what's that, Glenn?" "You are going to be an honoree at our steak and steak dinner. I'm like, well, that's great, Glenn. Thank you so much. And then I did some research. What is a steak and steak dinner? So I did some research on it. I'm like, wow, this is something big. This is bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Last year, they actually raised $40,000. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's just awesome. That is, again, that's a community coming together and supporting youth. Our future is the youth, you know. So, you know, we try to do what we can. I actually got some pedometers together, so I'm going to take some pedometers down here for the kids.
Oh, that'll be
and
fun.
do that, yeah.
Is that part of the Stay Active? Do you also in store? Do you have some sort of a promotion you do, or?
In store, I mean, last year we did the Walk with Walgreens.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
That was very successful. We took the city of Manassas and we broke it into 3 different parts. We tried to make it as equal as possible, and we had team captains. We had the chief of police, Doug King, was the blue team captain. We had Leanne Best was the red team captain, and Glenn Vickers was the white team captain. And in our stores, we had a table set up, and when people came in, we said, would you like to join our Walk with Walgreens? And we gave them a pedometer and a backpack and information and things like that, and they got weighed. Then weeks later, they came back and got weighed. So let's say they lost 5 pounds. That was 5 points towards their team.
Oh.
So then the walk, if you came to the walk, then you got another point for your team. So we tried to encourage everyone to come out to the walk and walk. We actually had Mayor Parrish came out, and he led the walk. We started at Harris Pavilion, and we walked down to the store on Dumfries in Wellington, and we had a big celebration. We had our wellness bus there, and we were given free health assessments and everything. We had a big celebration and food and stuff. And we had over 800
Holy
residents
cow.
of the city of Manassas who lived or worked in the city sign up for this.
That's amazing.
My first year doing it.
Wow.
So I'm like, this is great. Leanne Best and the red team won. And we had some very successful stories of people who lost weight. So that's everything.
Yeah.
Being healthy, that was awesome. And so what happened was, so that red team, which is in the Boys and Girls Club type area of the city, in that area, they actually received a $5,000 mini grant from us.
Wow.
And right now we're getting together. They actually put some grants into neighborhood services, and we're going to look at them and decide where best we could put that $5,000.
That's
so
great.
that was awesome. For our first time, that was sort of like our community event. We came up with the idea. Walgreens was on The Apprentice at one point, and I walked into neighborhood services, and Kristen said, hey, I seen Walgreens on The Apprentice. And I'm like, yeah, you know, they had a little box they had to make and things. And she goes, you know, that's kind of cool, you know, walk with Walgreens, so walk with Walgreens. The next thing, light bulb goes off, you know. So, and that's how ideas work when you get together and you collaborate and you talk. We went to a prevention breakfast at the Boys and Girls Club, and there was 63 participants there from all over Prince William County, from every aspect that you can think of. And we were there to collaborate, to network, to find out what are your 3 main goals, what do you want to do, who can help you with those goals. And those are the type of meetings I like.
Well, I think we're going to have to get you to work in Prince William County overall, because we have a Department of Neighborhood Services, and those are the kinds of things that I think we should be doing. It's a lot different when you're doing it for 400,000 people than 30,000 people, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So
absolutely. You know, it's just, you know, I work mostly in the city of Manassas because that's where my stores are at. But I do have 2 in Prince William County on the east side, Bristow and Sedley Manor. So we are definitely with Prince William County for sure. Manassas Park, not so much. We don't have Walgreens there. I do have a lot of residents asking me when they're going to get one. We do not have one on the books yet for that one. But I still work with them. I still work with the Manassas Park. They have a great bunch of people there at their community center. They do a lot for people, for health-wise, you know, healthy and keeping kids well and things like that. They actually employ some of the youth that volunteer for them. If they volunteer and give so many hours, they actually will employ them there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is.
Yes, that's awesome. We actually did get into the school system. We go every couple of weeks to Johnson's Learning Center with Keisha. Something else that kind of came out of just talking, along with, I believe it's called Garcia Construction.
Mike Garcia, sure.
Mike Garcia. Yeah. And boy, I wish I could remember who else goes there. That would be great to know. But we go in there and talk to them, and we actually employ 2 of the children that we talk to, so that means a lot. So, and they're doing great, because I check them on how they doing, and they're doing really good. So I'm like, that means a lot, you know, because, you know, once you graduate from high school, what are you doing? You don't want to be on the streets. You don't want to be getting into drugs. You don't want to be, you know, not having anything to do.
Right.
So you need to be working. So I put them to work.
It's music to our ears because we're all about jobs
Yes,
here.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you making the trip down from
All right.
long, far away Manassas.
Yes.
Thank you to our viewers for joining us tonight. Our guest next week is going to be Stephanie Williams. She hosts a Hispanic cable show, and she'll be our guest, so I hope you'll come back and see us again soon. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, the information should be right at the bottom of your screen, and I'll see you soon.